Hey everyone, it's Aryan from Cubelelo here. Today we are going to take a look at how to solve the 4x4 cube using the Yao method. So let's just get right into it. Before actually moving on to the tutorial, there are a few prerequisites that everyone should have. The first thing is a good knowledge of the 4x4 beginner method and a good grasp with it. So if you're comfortable with the 4x4 beginners method, then only you should move on to the Yao method. And the second thing is that you should be very aware of your color scheme of the cube. So if it has white on bottom and blue in front, you should know what's on the right, left and top. And same goes for red front, white bottom, and you should be very confident with your color scheme. So first thing I want to do right now is just make you aware of what the Yao method is and what are the steps to actually solve the 4x4 cube using the Yao method. So the first step is to solving two opposite centers like this. These two centers are the first two centers I solved. The second step of the Yao method is to solve cross edges of any one center. So I chose to do it on the white side, and I did 3 cross edges, and that is the second step, and they should be correct according to the color scheme. So if I just take out a 3x3 and show you the color scheme of that: white bottom and then green front, and on the left of green we have red, and on the right of green we have orange. So this is how it should be. Third step is to solve all the centers while preserving these 3 edges. So I solved all these centers in this layer, and I'm just done with all of my centers for the 4x4. Step 4 is to solve the last cross edge, which in my case was, I don't remember which it was, but I have completed my cross and I have solved all of my centers, and that is the 4th step. Next step is just to finish all the edges, and we do it by using the 3-to-3 method, which I'll go in depth later. And after this we'll just be left with 3x3 stage, and you can have parities, of course. This method won't change that from the original 4x4 method. And I have just finished my 3x3 stage and the cube is solved. And let's go in depth of each and every step. So here I picked up a scramble from a timer, and I'll leave the scramble in the description or it will be on the screen. So the first step of solving the 4x4 cube with the Yao method is obviously to solve two opposite centers. So if you do white cross, then you should go for white and yellow centers, and if you do green or orange, then you should go for that, or if you do red or blue, then you should go for that. So basically any opposite centers is what we're going to solve. So I see these two white pieces which I can connect. So I have one bar there, and then the other one is right over here. So I can form this bar by doing F, and then just bringing this piece over here and then just putting it up there like that. Now after I do that, I will put this on the bottom, and then I look for my opposite center pieces, which is yellow in this case. So this one is already here, and this one I can just connect like that. And then this is just getting disturbed, so I'm just going to just move this out of the way and then bring it down. Now I have this one last bar to fit in here. So I see this piece and the other piece is right over here. So if I can just bring this down like this, and if I slice this piece over here, I'll have this bar ready, and I can just insert it by doing small l prime due to small l. So we have completed our first two centers, which means we have completed the first step of solving the 4x4 with the Yao method. Now the second step is to solve the cross edges on either of these sides. I will pick white, and I usually pick white because I'm more used to that color. So what you want to do after completing the first two centers is put the side on which you're going to solve the first 3 edges on the left. So it should face the left hand side, and it should be constantly over there. Now this is where a lot of confusion begins, and I'll just explain this step very slowly. So the first pieces I see on this layer is this white blue, white red, and white orange. So I can start with any cross edge I want to, I see this and I see this. So what I'll do is I'll just bring it over this white blue and I'll connect it with this, and I have my first cross edge done, and I just need to put it on the side like that. Now once you're like completing the cross edges, you want to make sure that you do not break any of these pieces, and you should be very conscious about not messing up what you're solving on the left. So the next piece I will solve is this white orange and this white orange here. So I'll just do F prime over here and bring it down, bring this piece down from here to here on the bottom with small L2, and I can't just put this piece right away like this because I need to make sure that I'm also having the correct color scheme. So you can just take a 3x3 for reference if you're just starting out with this method. So if you have white on left, which we have in this case, and blue on top, and this color indicates that we should have blue over here. So now if you look at the color scheme of the 3x3, orange should be over here and not over here, right? So what we're going to do is we'll just do L2 and then we can just slide this piece in over here, and now we have the correct color scheme and we have solved 2 edges successfully. So we are almost just done with the second step. Looking at the third edge, we have this white and red, and this white and red is right over here. So again, I want to make sure I'm not messing up these pieces. So I'll just do a U prime over here, and if I do R2, small R2, we'll just connect these 2 pieces together. And then again, I have to make sure we just put these two, put this piece correctly right next to these 2 pieces. So if I do LU, this would be incorrect because we know that orange and red are opposites. So what I'm going to do is I will do L2 and then I'll just put it over there, and now I have my first 3 cross edges and they are in the correct color scheme, and that is the second step of solving the Yao method. So after we have completed these 3 cross edges, now we have to solve the centers on this layer. So we have already completed white and yellow, now we need to solve the rest of the centers. Now we need to make sure that we do not mess up these 3 pieces on this layer, and we have to keep using this empty spot. So we have not solved this edge because we're going to use this empty spot to move around the pieces of the centers without messing up the 3 cross edges we have already made. So the first thing I will do here is I will solve this orange center because it seems very like it's almost complete. So what I do to not mess up these pieces, I just keep my left hand over here and it just keeps sticking to this side, and I move this layer over here like that. So this will stay on the left, top left constantly for me, and I won't mess up anything. So I see this orange over here and I see this orange over here. So if I do a U over here, bring this piece up there with small r2, and then I have to connect it back over here with U prime, small r2 prime. So we have completed one center, and again we have to make sure if we are solving the next center, it should be in the correct color scheme. So over here should be green. If you just take out a 3x3 for reference, white on left and then orange in front, green should be on top. So what I'll do is I see this green bar over here, and we can just put it over here with small r due to small r prime, and then I try to keep all the pieces on the left that I've solved. So this bar is solved, so I want to keep it on the left. So if I do F2, it's gonna mess up this piece. So what I'll do instead is I'll do L and then F2, and then I will just look for the rest of the green pieces. So again, just keeping this thing over here, I'll just move these 2 layers like that, and I located my green centers over here. So the first thing we'll do is connect these 2 together. So I'll do U2 and then small r, U prime and then small r prime. So first we have made this bar over here, and now we can just insert this bar down here with small r2, U2, small r2 prime. And now we have completed our orange and green centers, and now we're just left with the last 2. So I know that since orange is over here, green is over here, we need to have red over here because red is opposite of orange, and blue is here because green is over here, and we know that blue and green are opposites. So the first thing I'll do is I see this bar, this red bar which can come here. So I'll just do a U2 and I'm using this empty space again and again. Small r, U2, small r prime. And then I will just keep this bar on the left, and to do that I will just bring this layer down to use this empty spot and do F2 because I was holding the cube that way, and then I'll do L prime. And as we solve our second last center, our last center will automatically be solved. So to solve this last red bar over here, what I can do is I can bring this piece over here with a U prime, connect this with this one, and then I'll just do U prime and then small r prime, and then we have completed our centers. So now after we've completed the centers, we just need to finish this last cross edge, and then we'll align the cross just like we do in the 3x3. So the first thing we'll do here is we need to find both of the edges. So in this case I have white green and white green, which is yet to be solved over here. So I can solve this piece very easily. I want to bring this piece right next to this one up there, and we just need to pair it like you would in a beginner's method. And again, we are not messing up this and the centers we have already built. So I'm just going to do R2 over here, and now I can just solve it very easily just like you would do a normal 4x4 edge using the beginner's method. So I'll just slice this over here, and then I'll just replace it with any other random edge that is not yet solved. So I do R, U prime, R prime, and then I'll align the centers again, and then I'll put this edge over here which has this empty spot with R2, and now I can align my cross, and now we have completed the cross as well as all the centers. Now after you're done with the first 4 cross edges and the centers, the first thing you want to do is put the cross on the bottom. And now the advantage of the Yao method comes here, that you don't need to look for your edges on the bottom layer anymore, and we're just going to finish the edges by looking at the top and the middle layer only. Now the first thing you want to do after putting the cross on bottom is that we are going to just do a slice. Now a lot of people do the slice towards the right, but I do it towards the left, but the concept will remain the same. Now after you're doing that slice, what you want to do is take a look at the top left edge. Now in this case we have yellow and red. Now notice what happens when I slice back. So this piece comes back over here, right? What if we replace this green and red, and we put this yellow and red, the other yellow and red edge over here? So when we slice back, it will be solved right over here. So let's do that. And if you're doing this towards the right side, you have to look at the top right edge and then continue the same process on the left hand side. But do not get confused, just follow along with my step. So we'll just do a slice, and now I look at this edge, I have yellow and red. I will put another yellow and red over here. So I have this, I can put it down right next to this one by doing R, U prime, R prime. And now when I slice back, we have this edge completely solved. But we're not just going to slice back yet. We can continue the same process over and over again 3 times total. So the first time we did here, and now if you look back over here, when I'm slicing back, this edge goes over here, and if we replace this edge, in this case we have a blue and orange, if we replace this one with the yellow and orange, and when we slice it back over here, this will be solved. So we were right here when we inserted the yellow and red and yellow and red. Now if I rotate to the right hand side and I see that this is the yellow and orange, I will find the other yellow and orange, which is right over here. It was here, I did a U prime, and to insert this I'll do F, R prime, F prime, R, which will just position this edge over here. And now I can do the same step again with the next piece, which is right over here. So in this case, if I rotate to the left hand side and I see this green and red piece, I will put another green and red over here. So when I slice back, this will also be solved. So the green and red is right over here, and I can insert this using U, R, U prime, R prime, and then when I slice back, I have 1, 2 and 3 edges solved, and luckily in this case I have this one solved too, but we can ignore that for now. So after solving the first 3 edges, you must have one remaining edge in this layer, in this middle layer. In this case I have this edge, and you want to put it on the left hand side again. Now we're going to take a look at this edge. So in this case I have red and blue, and I will solve this edge in the most basic manner. I just need to find the edge, the other edge which will go with this, and I will put it right over here. So in this case it's right over here, so I did a U, and to bring it down here I'll do R, U prime, R prime, and then I'll just slice, and I'll just replace it with any other broken edge on the top. So I can just replace it with either of these 3 edges which are not yet solved. So I'll just do R, U prime, R prime, and this will preserve that. And now we arrive at the last step of solving the 3 to 3 edge pairing, of solving the edges with the 3 to 3 method, is to solve our last 3 edges by just, doing a very similar method we did in the very beginning for solving the edges. But we're not going to slice right away. Instead we're going to find, again we're going to look at this top left piece over here, which is in my case yellow and green, and the other yellow and green is right over here. Now if I just bring this down again here with F, R prime, F prime, R, I can slice it, and then I can just put my last edge in right over here, replacing this. And the only thing you want to keep in mind while solving these last three edges is once you slice for this edge and you're bringing down the broken edge, you have to see what color is over here, what colors are in this edge. Now we have blue and orange, and if you look at this edge we have blue and orange over here. So if I put it right over here, when I slice it back, R, U prime, R prime, and then when we slice it back we have this solved as well. And now we've completed all the edges on the cube, and that is how you do the 3 to 3 edge pairing. And from here you should know how to solve this. We have already solved the cross, so we just need to do the 3x3 stage. For me I use the Frederick method, so I'll solve using that. And you will get parity if you're unlucky. This method will not avoid that, like I have PLL parity over here. And by that we have solved the cube. So now I'm going to do one walkthrough solve, and I'll just go over each and every step again. So the first step was to solve the first 2 centers. So in this case I'll just do white and yellow. So I have this one bar already made, and I have these 2 pieces over here. So I can just connect this with small r prime, and if I do a U prime and then small r2, this will be solved. And now I'll just put it on the bottom. Now I see this already made bar over here of yellow. So first thing I can do is just put it on the top like that, and then I find my last piece is over here. So if I do R prime here and connect this with that, I can insert these 2. Insert this over there like that. Now the next step was to solve the first 3 edges, and we'll just instantly keep white on the left. Now I see white orange and white orange over here. The first edge is going to be this one, and to set it up I'll just do U prime, and then I can move this piece with R and then B, and now I'll match this and insert it. Now the second piece I see is this white and red. Now again, keep in mind you don't want to mess this up, and you want to have the correct color scheme. If you want, you can just keep a 3x3 with you and just refer to that whenever you need it. Now I have this white red and white red. I can easily break it up first by R prime U R, and now since I have these 2 across from each other, I can just do a U prime and then make these 2 edges like that and insert. Now the next step is to solve the last cross edge from the first 3, and that will be white blue and white blue for me. And the way I'm going to do this is, if I do R prime F prime, it will set this up, but it will mess this up. So what I'll do is I'll do L, so I can use this empty spot now, and then I'll do R prime F prime, and that is how I set these two up, and I can just match it. And now I can't just do L prime U prime, because that won't be correct according to the color scheme. So if you again want to refer to the 3x3, you can. I know that if white is on left, red is on top, blue will be in the back, and blue will be in the back in this again. So if I do L U prime, and then that's how I know that this is the correct color scheme. Now moving this empty spot to the left hand side of mine is what I'll do. So I have this thing going on over here, and now we'll just move on to the centers. Now keeping this empty spot constantly on the left will solve our centers. Now the first center I will solve is this red one, because I see this bar already, and like I said, I just keep my bars on the left because I use most of my right layers to solve the bars. So my next bar is luckily over here and it's already made. So what I'll do is I'll just do a wide R2, which will just bring the spot over here as well, and then I can do U and then R2 prime, which will bring this red center down. And now I have this bar over here. First thing I'll do is I'll put it on the left hand side. So I'll just use this spot, so I'll bring it down, L and then U2, and then I can just do a wide R prime like that. And again, I'm just keeping the color scheme in check. I know that this blue will come here since red is over here and white is there. Now we have this bar over here, and now last bar we need to solve is the pieces right over here. So I'll first do this wide R prime, and then I'll do U, bring this over there, and then another U and then R prime to just align this. And now I know I can bring this down by doing R2, small R2, U2, small R2. And now I have this last bar, so I know orange will be here, and I can just do U prime, R, U2, R prime. And now I have my centers complete, as you can see. Now we'll move on to the last edge, which is right over here and here. Now I'll solve it in the most basic way possible. So I know that if I bring this piece down with F prime, U, F, and if I put them right across from each other, I can slice them, which will make the edge. And if I replace it with any other random edge which is not solved, so for example, I just put this one down, I'll do R, U prime, R prime, and then I'll just re-slice this. And now I can just insert this last piece over here. So it was here, I did R, U, and then I'll just do R prime, F, R. And now since I've completed my first 4 cross edges, I will put it on bottom, and immediately I'll do a slice move towards the left. Now I'll take note of what piece is over here. So we have orange and blue. The other orange and blue is over here, so I'll insert it down here with U, R, U prime, R prime. And then if I rotate to the left, I see green red, and this green red is right over here, so I can just insert this with U prime, R, U prime, R prime. It's right here. And again, if I rotate to the right side, I see orange and green, and the other orange green is right over here. So if I just do a U2, and if I want to insert it over here, R, U prime, R prime won't work. So instead I'll do F, R prime, F prime, R. And now when I slice back, I solved these 3 edges, and if you take a look, we have this edge also solved. Now if that happens, what you need to do is, the next step was to find the last remaining edge in this layer. So we must only have 3 cross pieces, 3 edges solved over in this layer. But since we have 4, I will just put any random edge which is not solved down here. So I can just put this on the left hand side with L prime U, L. And now I'll just do the same process which I showed you in the video earlier. I will take a note of what color this piece has. So I have yellow and green. I will find the other yellow and green which is right over here. I'll put it down with U, F, R prime, F prime, R. Now when I slice this, I will make this edge. Now what I want to do is, I want to take a look at this edge. We have yellow and orange, and I want to put the yellow and orange, the other one, right over here. So when I slice back, this edge will be solved on the left. So if I do R, U prime, R prime, And if I slice it back, I have this solved. Now if you notice, the edges are not actually solved. So in this case, we had a different thing going on. We actually solved 4 edges across this layer instead of 3. And if that happens, you might have to do these last 2 edges like you would do in the beginner's method. So I will put this edge down here so that the yellow faces the yellow and the blue faces the blue. So the way I can do this is if I do U, L prime U, L, and I'm just keeping in mind that I have to preserve this stuff going on the bottom. And to solve this, we will just do U prime and the edge flipping algorithm which I mentioned in the beginning of the video, which is R U R prime, F R prime, F prime, R, and then you have to slice back. So now we have the 3x3 stage, which I will do the standard way. And we have parity here, so that is not the best thing. And then our OLL, and then again PLL parity. Done. So that was a quick walkthrough. So I hope you guys understood the method quite well. And if you have any doubts, you can just comment down below. Do subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon so you can just stay notified with our upcoming videos. And until next time, cheers.